10 funniest questions people ask triplets. Here we go.
Watch until the end because you won't believe the last question. We have our whoppers here. Whoever can't catch their whopper in their mouth has to go first. So here we go. Oh, I got mine.
Okay, so one, two.
Oh, I got mine.
What the crap?
She got hers first. Natalie, you have to go. Before I get to the top 10 funniest questions, wanted to have a disclaimer. This is all in good fun. We've actually asked these same questions to multiples, so no harm, no foul. Here we go. Question number 10. Are you identical or fraternal? This question's really funny to me because I feel like we look so much alike. I don't know how we could be fraternal, and most of the time fraternal twins or triplets have like a boy and a girl. But you know, some people don't know, and they're just kind of like wondering like scientifically what
I
are
have
you?
seen some fraternal twins that actually look exactly alike, so I get where they're coming from.
I think this question's really funny because all of a sudden when someone says identical or fraternal, most of the time they know a little bit of the backstory, and all of a sudden we're talking about eggs. And you're talking to a stranger about eggs because if you know about fraternal and identical triplets, identical is when one egg splits 3 ways. Fraternal is when there's 2 or 3 separate eggs. So all of a sudden, like I said, I'm talking to a stranger about, you know, eggs, and that's just kind of weird, right?
Yeah, it can get awkward quick.
It's like, let's take it to first base first. This
Yeah,
is my
for real.
name.
Let's do
I'm
it.
Natalie.
Yes, for real. Funniest question, number 9, which one is older? I think this question is...
Nicole's older.
Okay, some people like that question apparently, but I think this question is really funny. As the oldest, being older by a minute is like really funny to me because, you know, I'm older than, you know, other people who have the same birthday as me by a minute, but, you know, it's like I don't get really called older.
And technically it was a C-section. So
Yeah.
then you're talking about C-sections and stuff like that again, so.
And it's like, I mean...
But I am the youngest, so I love it. So please bring that question
It's just
to us.
amazing.
Well, this question gets really funny when people like only say one of us together, or they don't even know we're actually like twins or triplets, and they're like, so how old are you?
Oh, it gets so weird because...
And then how old is she? How much older is she than you? And you're like, by a minute. Every time you just say it like that, and then they're like, eventually, and you could just say, hey, we're triplets, and then move on.
I feel
but then
like-
it takes them like 10 minutes to figure it out. So you're like, she's a minute older than me. Oh, okay, so you are twins. And then the other one comes up, and then she's like, oh, okay, how older or young is she? And then it turns into like, oh, you didn't tell me you were triplets. You just said you were
then-
twins, and then I'm a liar.
But
true.
then they have to guess who looks the oldest,
Yes.
who looks the youngest,
Oh,
who
that's
looks
true.
the middle, so then you might get your feelings hurt in between at some
Yeah.
point.
I think 99 or 100% of the times, I don't know if anybody's ever said I wasn't the oldest. I don't know what's going on.
That's not
I
good.
almost take it as now when you know, it's kind of getting to that point where it's not fun anymore being the older one. But anyways, I
It's
think
still
it's
fun for me.
Yeah. And my hair, ever since I got my hair cut short, everybody thinks I'm either the second to youngest or youngest, so.
A lot of people are asking which one's older before they even ask if we're triplets or not because they're afraid to ask if we're triplets because they're afraid to be wrong. So one of their maneuvers into that to kind of fill out the waters is to ask us who's the oldest, but to us it comes across really funny because, you know, we know we're triplets. And so they end up going, who's the oldest? And they get really confused because they think one of us is way more older than we are because we're so confident by saying, oh, she's the oldest. So they think, oh, it must be by like a few years. So they may be off that we're triplets.
It just gets confusing.
Number 8, do we ever dress alike? Our mom growing up never dressed us alike. People in our family actually and friends would buy us outfits that were the same, but she never really saw that direction out for us. And we never, growing up, liked to dress alike. We all have different styles, different tastes, and you know, all of our hair is different. We try to be different as much as possible. I think the only few times we've ever dressed alike was because someone else bought us the clothes. So that answer is no.
Well, I think it's funny because like they assume just because you were a triplet or a twin that you would want to. They're like, and a lot of them would be like, why don't you dress alike? Because, you know, you're a triplet or twin. And I'm thinking, if you were in my shoes, oh my gosh, the last thing you would want to do is dress like somebody who already looked like you. You know, why would you want to look like, you know, somebody even closer, so to say? So I just think it's fun, and they're asking me, you know, a fun question, but I always think no, like you wouldn't either, you know, so that's why I think it's funny.
Well, I actually wouldn't mind dressing like y'all if y'all dressed like I wanted to dress. The problem is nobody dresses like I want to dress, so it wouldn't bother me. So I think it's funny that y'all think it's funny.
Like, even for me, I guess for me the most, like if like they're wearing blue jeans or if they're even wearing like a jean jacket, like even something that like small,
Oh yeah.
it would drive me crazy. It would just
Yeah,
make me
me
feel,
too.
but I even think like if we weren't triplets and we were just sisters, I think there would be a part of me that, I don't know if this would be the case for y'all, but I would not want to dress alike. I mean, unless we were like on a family vacation
I
and
think
all
it'd be
everybody had
fun.
like the last
Twinsies.
names on your shirt.
That doesn't bother me, that part of it. Like,
Oh, really?
if I like had like a best friend and we kind of dressed alike, that's kind of fun to me. And me and Natalie kind of have a closer to the same style, and
Yeah,
I don't
but
mind
she stole it.
if we like both have like a certain tank top on with like blue jeans, and like we'll both have a bucket hat, but will they be the same tank top and blue jeans? No. Will they be the same color? No. But I kind of like, I don't mind looking like in the same style genre as her. If that makes any sense.
Okay, question number 7. Have you ever switched places? We were in 2nd grade. We switched places. Me and Nika did. We had our name shirts. Nicole couldn't because she was like missing her front tooth or something. You know, they just fall out when you're that age or whatever. And so, yeah,
Thank you.
it just
random.
fell out.
They just fell
Well, there
out.
you go. The teachers were like, I think we were trying to trick the teachers or the students. I can't remember, but
We were trying to trick the teachers.
Because most of our
Yeah.
friends knew us apart.
yeah. So I wore Nika's name shirt. She wore my name shirt.
We couldn't have been more obvious, right?
Yeah, it said, okay, Natalie's shirt, just to be clear here, Natalie's shirt said Nika on it.
No, it was Nika's shirt to Nika.
I mean, well, the
The
shirt you were wearing
said
Yeah.
Nika, and it was
said
red.
Nika,
which
and
my
it was
favorite
red, which
color.
was Nika's color.
And then Natalie's, the shirt I wore was blue, and it said Natalie across.
So they were super, like, not obvious at all, right?
Yeah. So I thought I said it pretty clear, but there you go. Anyways, our friends knew right when, you know, I walked into the room. They knew. I think that we tricked the teachers though.
Yeah, y'all
But
did.
It would have been more fun if we could have all 3 switched classes, and then later in high school we switched. But I can't really remember what happened. I think I already had my hair cut short then, didn't I?
Yeah, if we switched in high school, I think it was me and you, we really liked the teacher, and we were just trying to see if they would. And yeah, our hair was more close in length. I think your hair was still pretty short compared to mine, but like we wore it kind of similar.
And I think this question is funny because this is like one of the go-to questions. And
Mm-hmm.
to me, I don't even know if we would ever switch classes if like the teachers, I think, initiated the whole thing. Like the lead teachers, that was like assistant teachers, I think they wanted to trick. So like, it's never been like in my DNA to be like, ooh, I'm gonna switch classes, he.
Yeah,
You know, and
I think the same thing, but
I don't think it's that big of a deal, but that's like everybody's question.
I think it's a funny question in general because it's a unique question that I feel like only twins or triplets get asked. Like if you're
Yeah.
not a twin or a triplet, you will never get asked this question, and so are the other questions on this list. They're unique. No one else will get these, and we get them all the time.
Yeah.
You know, which is fun. Question number 6. I absolutely think this is the weirdest. I'm just gonna be honest. Weird question.
So if you have asked us this question, this is weird.
this is weird.
You might be
Okay.
like on a notepad, like your name or something
Yes.
somewhere. I'm just kidding.
Do you share a boyfriend? Like, I can't tell you how many times we've been asked this question. And you know, I love people, and I hate to say something's weird, but asking us if we ever shared a boyfriend, and seriously, or just like currently interested in sharing a boyfriend, that's so odd.
We've been asked this a lot.
It's like, and people ask, and they're not even, you know, sometimes it may be like a guy like being funny, but some people ask and they're literally seeing if we, like, not even for themselves, but just seeing if we've ever shared a boyfriend before. I'm thinking, what do you think? Let's think about this. What is the logical answer here? No. Why do I even have to answer that?
First of all, we don't like the same guys. Second of all, I'm
Yes.
so jealous. I wouldn't want to. I mean,
Oh
obviously,
my word!
obviously, just bare human decency that would never go through my mind.
No.
And I wouldn't
So weird.
I wouldn't want to share my boyfriend with anybody, much less my sisters.
Oh my gosh! And people,
I would never want to date someone they dated. That's just so weird in
I
the
would-
same sense.
I would never believe somebody would actually ask this question to a twin or triplet unless I've been asked it myself, because people are actually interested to see if we have.
Yeah. But in the 6th grade, we did get close.
Yeah, there was a close call one time.
I dated, well, dating is a strong word.
I went out when you're in 6th grade. You say I'm going out with this guy,
But
and I was going out with the guy.
anywhere.
And then I think he dumped you for me. Or
He dumped me for you.
I think I may have
They might have been on to something with this question.
No, they were not.
No,
It was not at the same
I'm just
time.
kidding.
It was not
And
at the
then
same time.
I remember in middle school, like 7th or 8th grade, your boyfriend walked up to me because he was confused and he thought
This
I
was
was
somebody
you.
else. Yeah.
And he said, "Hey, hot mama," and he had his comb and everything. Like it was so cliche, but
Like he was Fonzie or something.
and I was like, "Nope, that's not me. Wrong one."
And then I broke up
And then
with
I
him.
reported back to Nicole that her boyfriend got her confused, and he was over.
He was out.
He was out.
That's the deal breaker. Okay, and to elaborate on that question even more, I would say we don't even like the same type of guys. Like, you don't have to know this about us for that question to be weird, but this is just an extra here. Natalie likes more preppy guys. I like just kind of like so many different types of guys for sure. Nika likes guys who are trusting in the eyes.
Trusting in the
But
eyes.
our
That's my
types
secret.
are like as opposite as we are.
Yeah, the older we get. In 6th grade, I don't know what we were thinking. We had a crush on the same guy.
I don't know how that happened.
It was like Slim Pickens or something. I
Yeah,
think
that's
what it was.
exactly. That's a great way to say it.
Question number 5. Can you feel each other's pain?
We get this all the time, believe it or not. And this is not normal.
Can we feel each other's pain? No, I can't. Nicole claimed she did one time when Natalie got in a wreck. It was a really bad wreck. And then Nicole claimed she could feel something and they weren't together. She could feel some
I was at drum
traumatic
lessons.
event.
I was at drum lessons and all of a sudden, I don't feel sick, like ever, okay? And then all of a sudden my stomach started hurting and it was around the same time. I got a call like literally a minute or 5 minutes later. Natalie and my mom said they got in a wreck and it was a pretty bad wreck. And so I know, like, I felt like there was something wrong. I had a stomach pain and it was like super uneasy feeling. I haven't had it since. I haven't had it with that extreme since. So let's just say that.
Oh my gosh. She wants to be telepathic, I think, so bad.
And can we read each other's minds? No, we can't. I wish.
We have shared dreams.
I feel like we have had the same dreams. I don't know if that's because we share a lot of the same circumstance and we go through the same things a lot, like because we kind of live together and stuff like that. So I wonder if that was triggered by, the same thing. But we have shared dreams. Were we in each other's dreams, talking to each other in the dream? No,
not like
that.
hologram
Just
experience.
I woke up and told Natalie about my dream, and she had the same dream, which
And
is
it was
so
super
weird.
odd.
At
But,
the same time, too.
And that's
At
happened
the
with
same
me.
night and the same day, everything. So that's really weird, and I don't know why I told her about the dream because I don't tell them about my dreams a lot. Can we read each other's mind? We can because we're around each other so much. I don't have to know what they're thinking. You can see it in micro expressions all day
Yes,
long.
it's called micro expressions and subconscious. It's all these things. But also, we bust out in song, like random part. And I've heard other sisters who were twins and triplets doing this. Like, I'll be walking through the house, and one of us will bust
That's
out in
because
a
you
song,
hummed it first and you claimed
and the
you
other
did.
one will bust out in the same part of the song.
She wants to be telepathic.
But I think it's because something was triggered throughout the day that made us think it, or somebody was singing it first. They just don't remember that
I
they
don't
sang
know
it
that
first.
somebody was singing it first.
you.
though.
And we
Every
don't like when
time,
people
I
do
get
that
so
because then it gets
mad.
stuck in all of our heads all day. And it's just like a never-ending cycle.
Oh
Because
my gosh, that's so
Question number 4, does it run in the
Does
family?
it?
I guess they'd be triplets.
Yes, it.
And triplets are not hereditary, but twins are, that I've heard. They like skip a generation or something. But I don't know, when they say it, I don't know if, sometimes people ask, I think it's funny, sometimes people ask and they're like scared for you, like, does it run in the family?
Yeah, they're like,
I would be scared for me.
Yeah, I would be very scared.
We
I don't blame
pray.
them.
We
They're always like, does
pray
it run
that
in
it
the
does
family?
not run in the family. We pray.
oh my gosh, yes. And it's just, it's kind of like the something in the water thing, They're like, is there something in the water to make you triplets?
And my
You
mom,
know?
we have no trace of triplets in our family, anywhere, shape, or form. We do have cousins that are twins,
Yes.
but we have no triplets in the family. So right now it does not run in the family.
But we'll see.
But we'll see, and we pray it doesn't.
Question number 3. Do you like having a triplet? Okay, I think this is super funny when people ask me this because my sisters are right there 99% of the time when somebody asks this, because it's either at a concert or, it has to be somewhere in the public, where we're all 3 together being triplets for somebody to ask me this. So they usually ask me when my sister's right there. And I'm kind of looking around like, what would I say, you know, if I didn't? But of course, we love having a triplet. It's like having a built-in best friend. But even closer, you know, because we're going through life together, we work together, we work, play, you know, all these things.
To interrupt that, what's funny about that to me is, first of all, we don't have, like, I don't own them, so it's like having a triplet. It's like, I didn't have one. My mom did.
It's so funny.
You know, I'm just like,
You're so literal.
But too, it's
oh my
like,
gosh.
You're taking that to a new
no, I mean,
literal.
no, I don't have a triplet. Like, they're my sisters, but it's like, do you
That's
like
not
having a
what they
sister
mean.
that looks like you?
Amelia Bedelio.
And that looks like you and doesn't act anything like you? Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't.
We don't know.
And I don't know if I know you well enough to tell you that.
Yeah,
It's
we
true.
don't know the difference. So, and some people ask, what is it like being a triplet? It's like having your sister the same age as you, living life with you. It's got its benefits. Definitely, like we went to the first day of kindergarten together, went through 9th grade together. Natalie dropped her tray. Here's the negatives. Natalie dropped her tray the first day of 9th grade freshman year, where everybody claps for you if you drop your tray. So everybody thought it was me. So
Yeah.
you have those kind of things that kind of run with you. But, you know, overall, I do like being a triplet. You know, it's got its positives, it's got its negatives, but overall, I love it.
But like, if somebody asks you, do you like having a sister? Wouldn't that be so random? Do
Yeah,
you
it's
like having
so-
a sister? Like, what about
Yeah,
you? Do you
like-
like having a mom? Do you like having a dad?
We're the only people, like twins or triplets are the only people who get, and I get asked this and they'll ask it point blank to my face. And it's like, I think they ask that though because they want, you know, a twin or a triplet and they want a
It's kinda
built-in
like,
best
oh,
friend.
yeah, like, do you like this?
They're like, do you like
What
having
about
a
my brother?
triplet?
Nobody
You know,
asked
more
What's
like
it
that.
like?
Would
You
you
know?
like having a brother? Nobody ever asked me that.
Yeah, I would
I
feel,
love having a brother.
if I was on the other end and I was like, say if we weren't triplet and somebody came up to me and they would never do this, do you like having your sister? And I was the one that they were talking about and they were asking them that. I would feel like, oh my goodness, that's so
Hope they say
random
yes.
and almost
I hope they say
insulting.
yes. Question 2, do we have the same birthday?
This one is a drop the mic. People
People's-
ask this.
Okay, people's asked, do we have the same birthday? After they knew we were triplets, people's asked it before they knew we were triplets. So either way, and some people just want to confirm you're a triplet. I think back it up.
Yes.
So I'm going to give some people the benefit of the doubt because, you know, if you're not familiar with it, you know, you could just be kind of like confirming. So they mean like you're born on the same day.
Yeah.
Kind of deal. But yes, we get that asked a lot. Like
You would not believe it.
they know you're a triplet and they go, so when's your birthday? So when's your birthday? So when's, and you're like March 18th. She says March 18th. Then they still ask
They still go to the third
her
one.
birthday.
And it's been done as a joke.
And it's okay because we all do stuff that if we're not familiar with stuff,
Yeah.
we ask like silly and funny questions and it's just funny.
Yeah.
But
It's happened a
It is
bunch.
funny.
It
You have
is
to say it's funny.
And obviously some people are being funny and we understand
Yeah, some
that.
people are
Like,
being funny, like, okay, so
super
when's
funny.
your birthday?
But some of them
Ha ha.
aren't.
So when's your birthday? Ha ha.
Yes.
So when's your birthday? Ha ha ha. Woo.
It-
And
yeah.
it's funny, like, I get it.
But
It's
some
really
people
funny.
say, they're like, so are y'all sisters, twins? And then it goes to, oh, triplets.
Yeah,
And then they
we
go
get to
to, well,
that.
do you all have the same birthday? That's what's funny.
And sometimes I'm
Or-
laughing with them because I don't know if they're serious or not.
But-
But sometimes you don't know if somebody's joking or not.
Yeah, we're like, ha, and then it's like insulting.
Then you
when
figure
they're
out
not
somebody
kidding.
wasn't joking.
And then you don't want them to feel bad.
So
But-
then you just keep going with it.
They could be onto something if, like, our mom was in labor for like 24 hours or something. But
Yeah, she was
wasn't.
in labor at 11:59 and they pulled me out and
12:01, her.
That gets really-
24 hours the next day.
yeah, and that would be really
That'd
cool.
be really cool.
That would
Maybe
be really
we wish
cool.
that we didn't have the same birthday.
Yeah.
That secretly we wish.
Sharing a birthday ain't fun. Maybe they should ask us that.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah, it kind of gets all together. You
They
know,
do
get your
ask-
own day to shine, you know.
They ask, do you like sharing a birthday? We've heard that a lot, and you know,
I've heard that as much.
I've heard it.
A few
before.
times, yeah.
A few times, not as much as do you have the same birthday?
I think it's kind of like the Christmas birthdays. I kind of feel their pain with that one.
Question number 1. This is the drum roll, please. Okay, here we go. Sparkles. If we commit a crime, will our DNA be the same? This is like, somebody's watched too much CSI or something.
I have seen this happen on CSI, so
I've had conversations about this with people.
It's like, I think when they ask me this, I can see in their eyes, they like secretly want to be a triplet so they can commit a crime and get away with it.
Well, that's why it's funny. Of this question, we've had to look up this because, and I've had to talk, because I have to look it up to actually be able to hang on a conversation, with somebody. So, do you know the answer to this?
Yes.
Okay,
as long as there's not any weird foreign antibodies in my system or vaccine. So if say I commit a crime and we all have the same DNA, we don't have the same fingerprints though.
We don't have the same fingerprints.
They have my DNA somewhere and they go test Nicole and say Nicole was in Africa or something and she had to get this certain shot. Well, if that shows up in her system, that's how they told that CSI episode.
You know too much. This is scary.
Yeah.
You know too much.
I pondered
Don't
this
get
a
me
lot.
in
Like if you
jail.
had to get like a malaria shot or something.
Yes, exactly. So
That's so
COVID
random,
vaccine-
but let's answer the question though, because I think there's some people out there who legitimately have an answer.
And they're mad
And if
because-
somebody asked me this, I would think it was hilarious, to be
I might
honest
think
with
they're
you.
a murderer if they asked me. They
I
have
would
asked
think it was
me.
so funny.
I've probably looked at them like, don't get too close.
Natalie's like, beware of
I'm
that
my pepper
person.
spray. That's what somebody asked me
I'm
this.
scared because y'all know the answer to this one. I
Well,
don't know the answer.
Like for instance, like a piece of hair or something like that. Obviously, mine has a little bit different tint because I've dyed it before. But like piece of hair, and
so if you
it was
leave
on a
one
crime
of
scene.
these strands where you dyed it, then
if
you'll
it
be
was
committed.
Yeah, but like if it's like
You
a
be
regular
careful.
like hair, like on a crime scene,
I don't think they could tell the
they
difference
couldn't
between-
tell like it.
A regular
I would say
one.
it was one of y'all.
But even this underlying,
That's just what I would do.
this underlying dye piece that you did, like purple or something, like it's still the same DNA as my hair.
But
Yeah.
they could tell it was dyed.
You think?
You can tell, yeah.
Well, that's just
if
your
they
opinion.
could tell if they were smart
So
enough.
basically, me and Nike can get away with it, but Nicole can't.
It
Well,
just depends on her strands of
Which
hair
one
she
falls
leaves.
out? So.
So if you've ever asked me this question, don't come near my purse or I got my pepper spray. It's
But
scary.
my fingerprint, like even my fingernail, like I would just say it was Natalie or Nika, whichever one I was mad at that day, And then my fingerprint, I would have to definitely wipe those clean because
You can tell those. We have a different fingerprint.
So yeah.
So you know who you are. You know who you are who asked this.
And the only reason why we know is because we've been asked so many times.
And they did have a CSI episode. I remember it. And
Yes.
It was with triplets. So this is a thing.